this edition of Poker Strategy, Card Player TV caught up with Jason Koon to discuss some mistakes players make when first getting into heads up, no limit hold'em sit and goes.
Yeah, with beginners, they're oftentimes defending way too much out of position, so I would recommend making tight folds out of position from the big blind and being very aggressive in position. And also be very selective with what ranges you decide to re-raise your opponent with. I feel that beginners oftentimes get themselves in trouble by not having a polarized 3-bet range. So they would 3-bet a hand like ace-jack and then get 4-bet and not know what to do with it. So make sure that whenever you're re-raising someone, you know if you're bluffing or if you're doing it for value and you're very comfortable playing for stacks. I would do that. I would also make sure that you're telling a story correctly. So when you're running a bluff, make sure you can actually represent a hand that is in your hand range. So for instance, if you defend a big blind and your opponent knows that you re-raised almost all of your ace-x hands and it comes ace-5-3 rainbow and you check raise, it's going to be pretty hard to represent an ace. So make sure when you're trying to tell a story, you actually have those hands in your range when you're trying to bluff.
Being heads up obviously requires increased aggression when compared to a full ring game, but Koon cautions players against going too far with it.
I think people tend to go a little bit crazy when they're inexperienced, and a lot of heads-up poker is actually playing solid. You're obviously playing much more aggressively than you would be at a six-handed or full ring table, but you still need to make hands and be very balanced with, if you're bluffing in a certain spot, you should be able to be value betting in that spot too. So try to approach it from a very solid out of position. Yeah, be very solid out of position, and like I said, apply tons of pressure in position. The more pots that you play in position, the more money that you're going to make. And another advice I would give people is, whenever you're deciding whether to bet, ask yourself if you can be raised or not. And so if you're betting a medium strength hand and you get check raised and you're in a very bad mood about it, then you should probably just check back flop. So if you're in position and you raise a hand like Jack 10 suited and the flop comes King Jack 3, 2 diamonds, you have Jack 10 of clubs, that's probably a good board to just check back and try to bluff catch on later streets or get value on later streets, since you wouldn't be happy if you bet and got raised in a spot like that. So make poker simple, basically.